Hello students, hope you are all well, and I must congratulate you to have your successful submission of your assignments. Hope you were all able to do well. Students, in continuation to the same types of economies, in previous video I discussed about various types of economies on the basis of ownership, and in that we discussed about three types: capitalist economy, socialist economy, and then mixed economy. Today in this video we are going to study about the status of an economy on the basis of growth. Like we are here to say कि yes, you are intelligent or you are an average student or a below average student. So accordingly, on the basis of growth, an economy is being divided into two parts: developed economy and developing nations. Earlier we were here to say three, that is developed economy, developing economy and underdeveloped economy. But nowadays we don't have any economy to be called as a underdeveloped economy. So we study only two types: either it is going to be a developed or developing economy. Let's discuss about their meaning. Which type of economy is to be called as a developed? As it is clear from the term developed, developed means fully grown, it is progressed, right? And what is the criteria to see whether the economy is developed or not? Means the proper utilization of resources. So in developed economy, all the resources are properly, optimally, efficiently and effectively utilized. So if all available resources are optimally utilized, automatically I will be in the situation of full employment. Full employment means that yes, resources are fully utilized, so I am able to reduce the level of unemployment to its minimum possible level. Full employment is there, so it leads to a high standard of living, because if the people have got high income, so their standard of living will also be high. Full employment leads to high per capita income, and high per capita income result into high standard of living. So these are the back-to-back points of a developed economy. As there is going to have a proper utilization of resources, so what will happen? It means we will have a good, best infrastructural facilities also. So when we are going to have a best infrastructural facilities, it means what I am going to have? I will have all good transportation system, banking system, roads will be good, railways are good, bridges are there, flyovers are there. So these are all the features of a developed economy. And in case of developed economy, as we know that we have got three sectors: agriculture, industry and service sector. So in case of a developed economy, which one will be a main occupation? It will be an industrial sector as well as a service sector. Yes, of course we will have agriculture, but agriculture will not be my dominating occupation. My economy will not be having main occupation as a agriculture. Rather I will have what? I will have industry and services as my main occupation, and agriculture is equally developed, but its contribution in the national income will be at the third number. The first will be by industries, or by second by services, and the third by agriculture sector. So these are all the merits or all the features of a developed economy. Like we are here to say USA is a developed country, China is a developed country. Why it is possible? Because they have got all proper utilization, full employment is there, standard of living is high, infrastructural facilities are very efficient, and there is no wastage of resources. Now let's discuss about a developing economy. Let me tell you, to start with, India falls into this category. I am not here to call India as an underdeveloped nation. No, it is not an underdeveloped country. It is a developing nation. ING. ING means The process is in progression. Okay, we are on the way. So we are on the way means yes, India is the fastest developing economy, but still the date we are not here to call India as a developed economy because of certain issues. What is the first issue? In India, our main occupation is what? Agriculture. No doubt its contribution since independence is declining, but still I am here to tell you that in India, main occupation is agriculture, it's not industry and services. The second reason to call your Indian economy as a developing economy is your per capita income. Per capita income means on an average how much you are able to get. So if I am going to make a comparison of per capita income of India and USA, India is having in a 3-digit, in the beginning of a 3-digit, but USA is going to have in the end of 4-digit. That much is the difference. So you can easily see that why India is here to be called as a developing economy. Then we are here to talk about infrastructure. Now what is infrastructure? We all know. Infrastructure means your banking, transportation, communication facilities. So in case of infrastructure, what we will have in India, we know that these are not very good. The roads are not very good, railways are not very good. So infrastructure standard as compared to developed country, you must have visited abroad, you must have seen the status of transportation or their online services in case of developed country. Yes, we do have in India, but if I am going to see from developed nations point of view, their health, their education facilities and everything, they are far better than India. So this is the point we are here to call India as a developing nation. Then there comes about the status of employment. India is known for poverty. India is known for unemployment. If we are going to consider the status of India globally, we are here to consider, yes, India is a poor country. Sad that after so many years, approximately 75 years of independence, we are still here to call India as a poor country. Highly populated country. Highly populated country means that the population of India is, yes, it is the second largest country. If I am going to make comparison of my resources and the size of population, demography, I have given a new word to you over here, demographic. Demography means population. So India is not going to have a good standard of living till I am not going to control over my population. So highly populated. If India is to be called as a developing nation, you know, we considered our population as a retarding factor. The only one reason why India at present not able to be a developed nation, just because of our population. As our population is more and the population is not educated, we are facing the problem of poverty, we are facing the problem of agriculture as a main occupation. Urbanization is not here, means people are living in the remote areas, in the rural areas. So with this, what do we have? Technical disadvantage. Technically we are backward, we don't have an advanced technology. So if we don't have advanced technology, it means my resources will remain underutilized. So these are all the common reasons because of which we are here to call a particular country as a developing nation, and sadly India falls into this category. So students, you are here to know the difference between underdeveloped or a developing nation, and then we are here to know the difference between a developed nation. The only difference between an underdeveloped country and a developing economy is what? That underdeveloped economy remain as it is only. There is no sign of progression, there is no movement, it is stagnant. And why a country is to be called as a developing economy? Because they are into a motion, they are picking up their speed. The speed may be slow, we are going to be low as per our GDP, as per our national income, but yes, we are on the way. So that is why we are here to call our country as a developing nation. The last thing to be discussed from this chapter, a very important thing, is the difference between economic growth and economic development. To start with, if I am here to tell you, yes, if India is here, India is working for economic development. And if I am here to tell you about the about the status of USA, USA is working for economic growth. Now, how do these two are different from each other? In case of economic development, students, you come to school. Am I aiming for this thing only, that you should have a knowledge about economics? No, we are not going to give you a knowledge about subject only. Rather, in a school, all purpose is this, to have an all-round development of yours. Means you should have a good personality development. There should be a grooming, there should be a character building, there should be ethics, moral education, as well as career counseling as with your subjects. So when an economy is working for an all round development of your country, what it is? All round. So when we are going to work on these angles, what is all round? That I am going to develop my agriculture, industrial development, my tertiary sector is going to be a fully developed sector, my transportation, communication, railways, irrigation, dams, bridges, banking, they are all going to be good, per capita income is high, then we say ki yes, we have economic development. So all developing nations at present are aiming for economic development. I need to go for proper allocation of resources, I need to go for proper distribution of resources, I need to go for welfare, so that your all basic needs are going to be satisfied, and the level of poverty and unemployment has to be reduced to its minimum possible level. So when I am working on all these angles, so it means I am trying for what? I am going for economic development. Now come to economic growth. Economic growth means, out of these topics which I have covered in economic development, I am not working because my standard of living is already maintained. My resources are optimally utilized. Full employment is there. I am already equipped with latest technology. My infrastructural facilities are best. So what I have to do? I need to check out my only one thing, that is the status of my per capita income, and I am here to focus only on the income part. So where I am going to work out with the only with income part, just one part, it is to be called that I am working for economic growth. So it is economic growth means I am working for one aspect, that is a quantity. I am working for your marks only. If a teacher is working for the marks of a student only, it means it is a economic growth, quantitative aspect is being covered. But if I am going to see a all-round personality development on other aspects, so that is economic development. So under economic development, it is not only quantitative but also qualitative also. So economic development is a combination of quantitative and qualitative, whereas economic growth is only a quantitative. From here we can conclude that economic development is a wider concept and economic growth is a narrow concept. Rather, economic growth is a part of economic development only. If you have economic development, only then it will be possible for you to have economic growth. Economic growth of its own solely cannot be achieved. Hope it is all clear. Thank you.